Welcome to the More Than Ball Show. It is episode 1.
Hey.
Thank you so much to 2K and Nay Saga for us being here. We are so excited. We did a little preview to this last year. You guys can definitely go back and check it out. But this is episode 1. We've got so much in store for you. But I guess before we get into it, we should probably introduce ourselves. Do you want to kick us off?
My name's Paige, I'm 24 and I play for London Lions.
As in, like, just drops it in there like it was nothing. Drops it in there like it was nothing.
And a little introduction to basketball. I was actually down the route of like modelling and acting, and my mum was like, yeah, you need to play a sport. Liked basketball and PE, and then met Sevian through London Thunder, and it's all kind of kicked off, met everyone else.
Yeah. What made you stay?
I feel like basketball ended up taking up a huge part of my life, and it was for the better part. So it's just like the community, the competition, and just feeling at home. It felt good.
Yeah, I heard that at home part of it. My name is Shequila Joseph, and I'm Paige's teammate for the London Lions. I also play for Great Britain.
Hey. There we go.
Big baller.
Ex-teammate. I was introduced to basketball when I was about 10 or 11 because I was taller than everyone in my class. So somebody at the school was like, you know, I think you should get into basketball, and it helped so much with my confidence. I've met so many people along the way. I've been to so many countries, and it's only up from here.
I don't know if you remember, but maybe like 4 years ago, we played together in Manchester at a GB trial.
No.
Yeah. And I wasn't supposed to be there. It's not that I can play for GB.
Yeah.
I was at a tournament that was in Manchester, and they said come down, and I went and embarrassed myself. And I remember seeing you and thinking, she's taller. But yeah, fun fact, Manchester back in the day.
You never told me this.
Yes, you know, sometimes you got to say something for the pod. Hi everyone, I'm Ola. Little intro to me is that I guess my background in basketball was that I actually always used to play football. I grew up playing football in an area that no one looked like me, and the team, no one looked like me, and I didn't really enjoy it. And then I got the chance to play basketball with a few people in my area. I got the chance to join a few teams, play a few games, and it was just a joy to be in a community of people that looks like you, coaches look like you, refs look like you, the whole community looked like you, and it just felt like everyone was in it for your best interest rather than you were just a number on the sheet. And it just felt like home, just like you said. So I never left. That is me.
I'm Aiman, and I'm just going to keep it simple. I'm just an NBA watcher. I'm
not
not tall.
Not just.
I'm not tall enough to be a basketball player, and even if I was tall,
There's no height
restriction. But yeah, so I'm a massive Boston Celtics fan, and that started basically my older brother and my sister. They were Chicago Bulls fans, and I did not want to support the Chicago Bulls. So I went with Boston Celtics, and the second reason was Rajon Rondo was my favourite player.
So do you know what? It's Sevian. I know that this is a heated.
You might need to switch up this arrangement here.
This is a heated.
Why are your hands doing all of this?
So that's it.
Doing gang signs.
You know, what about you?
Yeah, so I grew up playing basketball, actually football first, and then I got into basketball, played with my brothers, played for a few teams, including London Thunder, where I met Paige, also played together with Brixton Top Cats. But, you know, maybe I could have done a WNBA route with a few injuries, you know, the knees, you know, that kind of things. No, I'm playing. I was never really at that level, but I've had so many interests around basketball, the culture, the family aspect, the sisterhood as well, and then seeing people that look like yourselves. And also it's indoors, you know, I'm not trying to play outside.
That's a big
But also with regards to the basketball community, I was a massive Chicago Bulls fan for Michael Jordan. D-Rose, Lardeng, and so yeah, I'm like literally sitting next to my ops here. I was anti-Boston, anti-Rajon Rondo, so looking forward to seeing how this show goes.
If you make it.
Funny.
Yeah.
No, guys, but thank you so much for tuning in. We're really looking forward to getting into it with you guys. What you can expect from the show, I guess, is all of those things that we bring. It's the culture, it's the community, it's the player aspect, it's the watcher aspect, and also the statistician. That is what Aiman is, the statistician. And I guess also just the cultural commentator. We've got Jordan over here.
Hey.
Yeah.
Round of applause, ladies and gentlemen.
I'll give people their flowers.
100% for the GOAT.
That's it.
Hey.
That's it. Cool. Should we chat NBA?
Come then.
Okay. It's the month of March, and there are a lot of season awards that are going to be coming out. We're wrapping up the normal season and getting into playoffs. And there's probably a few discussions that we need to have, arguments potentially, about who is going to win which season award. So let's kick it off with the one that we care the most about, MVP. We're going to go this way round, okay? And we're going to ask who you think MVP is going to be.
I would like, so I would like it to be Luka, but I actually think Giannis is going to get it, and I'm not mad at that either.
Why do you want it to be Luka?
Because I think Luka's, even though where he's sitting right now with his team, with the Mavericks, it's like quite low, but I think he's actually like single-handedly like carried his team. You know what I'm saying? Like no one, like he's averaging like 30x like amount of points a game. Like it's, when you look at, like, if he doesn't score that much, they don't win. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's like he's literally done it by himself. So I would like it to be him. Do I think? I'm not too sure. So I would like it to be Giannis also. Because, you know, that's just...
Also,
do you think with, like, now that Kyrie's joined the team as well, like, because I feel like they're trying to figure out their dynamic at the moment.
Yeah.
Because both of them are just, they're shot clocks. They're hot shot shooters. And I guess, like, maybe what we could see next year is that he could potentially be MVP because he'll have someone else that he can bounce off.
He's got someone to,
Yeah.
So it could go either or. Like they could either work really well together, or it could go left.
Yeah.
But hopefully they work well together, where it's like they're both moving successfully.
Yeah, definitely. Cool. How about you?
I'm a stick with my post player, so I'm gonna go Embiid. He's averaging more than 33 points a game, so many rebounds, you know, working in the paint. So I'm not going to get too much into it, but got to stick with my post player.
And they just recently beat the Bucks as well.
There we go.
They stopped their 16-game win streak as well. So another big one.
If that don't scream MVP, then what does?
I mean,
Stopping the
everything.
yeah. I mean, everyone else may scream it a little bit louder. But yeah, how about you? Who are you thinking?
I think MVP is quite obvious this season just because Jokic has been front
What?
runner.
I wanted to nod and I was like, wait.
Jokic has been front runner for most part of the season, and if he finishes the season strong, because he's had a strong start of the season, and if he ends strong, he has a good overall season for him to win. I mean, he's averaging a triple-double, and the last players that have done that, and the only players that have done that, is Russell Westbrook and Oscar Robertson. So it's an achievement that not everyone does in the NBA. And then again, he's only had one game where he has shot less than 50% from the field. So just think about that in a shooting term. So like,
he is doing bits.
It's true, but the eye test as well. And plus, I know it's a regular season award, but I've got something against when you give it to these people that don't perform in the off season. And I know it's a regular season award and we can't look at that. However, Giannis for me has my vote
100%.
for MVP. I can't see how we can give Jokic the third MVP in a row to be back to back?
Yeah, back to back. Yeah. And the last players that have done that was Larry Bird and Wilt Chamberlain. So, and Bill Russell. So
statistician, guys.
We're talking decades.
but
fair enough.
I think the other
thing, the greatness of Jokic, because if he does it, if he's the first player to do it since Larry Bird, it shows no one's done it since.
But I do think, like, again, it goes to the things that you're looking at, and I do think that another reason that we shouldn't forget about Giannis, or I'm a big Giannis fan. We all know that.
We all know that.
I'm Nigerian, so it's in my blood. He's and he looks exactly like my cousin. Fun fact, but anyway, maybe we'll post a picture. Maybe. We'll post a poster. It could be. Yeah.
Maybe family tree.
You never know, man. The Yoruba blood runs wild. But yes, but I think that when it comes to Giannis, one of the things that people have forgotten about this season is that 16 straight game win, and without Middleton. Yeah. Right. So actually, when we're talking about players that are doing it on his own, he's a player that's doing it on his own. Fair enough, he's got his brother, but these are like young players. Do you know what I mean? So really, in terms of leading the game, that's him. Let's think about where he's come from. Someone that couldn't shoot threes. People were counting down when he was shooting free throws, and now he's making it consistently. Like he's had a good run.
proven himself.
Yeah. He's worked on himself. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's really brought it around. Like, I see the argument for Jokic. I definitely do. But I just feel like we have to give it where...
I think it's like a 1A, 1B situation.
Yeah.
But Jokic is effortless. Like, he's been putting up these numbers without even trying. Like,
He has.
I don't think he actually wants to win MVP, and that's the crazy thing about it. He plays like... There's certain players that play like they're after the MVP. But Jokic is like putting up these numbers,
just because,
and you're watching it, and he's just doing it effortlessly. Like, it's just natural.
No, that's how you're meant to play.
Yeah, and maybe that's also how you're supposed to judge it. So no, very good point.
It's a regular season award, however. I feel like Giannis is going to perform in the
Go on,
off-season
Seth.
as the MVP, a true MVP.
Fair. Okay, let's kick it off with the next one. ROI. Do you want to give us the stats?
Yeah. So Banchero is the favourite to win it. He's averaging 19 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists, and he's only had one game where he's not scored in double digits. So as a rookie, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah. How would you compare him to rookies of previous seasons?
I think previous season rookies, they've been in like good systems, whereas like the Orlando Magic, they are a newer system around their young team. So with like Cole Anthony and Bol showing up again, like he's not a meme. He's not just a meme. He's done well this season, considering the system he's in as well.
No, definitely. I think that's one of the things that I've had for him as well. That it's been like to be doing it in the team that you're doing it in, like with everything else that everyone else has got. You got to give it to him.
Yeah.
Also, I want to give a massive shout out to Jeremy Sohan on the
I was about to say that. Yeah.
Not in the Rookie of the Year discussions, but definitely a star player for the Spurs for this season and showing really great improvement in his position.
Yeah, definitely in a team that need it as well at this time.
Yeah.
It's good to see someone British doing that out there.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. It's definitely putting us on the map.
Yeah.
And what he's doing is not normal. So it's like, as a rookie, like... Nah, he's amazing.
Next one, we have got MIP, Most Improved Player. Who are we going for?
I'm going for Lowry Markkinen.
Yeah.
He was a throwaway piece in the Donovan Mitchell trade, and no one expected him to be doing anything at Utah. So to see him go from just a throwaway piece in a trade to become an all-star starter, that alone is improvement.
Yeah.
So I think...
Utah weren't even really trying to do anything.
Yeah, no.
They were really trying to
rebuild.
Go for Victor. And then here they go.
No, it's true, and he just came out and showed himself. It's very true. I also think that we should shout out SGA as well. Like, he's still expected to improve. OKC are competing for a play-in spot, so there's chances there, and he's averaging like 31. So I guess second contender, but probably not going to win.
Yeah.
Fair to say?
Fair to say.
6 MAY.
You have to give it to the Boston Celtics guy, Malcolm Brogdon.
Come on.
The 6-man award almost always goes to an NBA player that is scoring, the lead scorer from the bench. And Malcolm Brogdon is leading that in the NBA at the minute. And yeah, I think that one's pretty obvious as well.
I'm going to say Emmanuel quickly for the New York Knicks. They're doing really well at the moment, and that wasn't really expected from them. So just an honorary mention for quickly.
Yeah.
But I think we're comfortable with Celtics.
Yeah.
And you must be extra comfortable with that award as well. Love that. DPOY.
Jaren Jackson Jr. I think he's the front runner of that as well.
Yeah. It doesn't feel like there's a competition.
No, I think he's just already favourites to win it, and he probably is going to win it.
Yeah.
And then again, he did make the All-Star game solely because of his defence, and I think that's like important to highlight.
And doesn't happen often.
No.
No, fair enough. I think that's it. It feels as though there isn't as much competition for anything other than MVP this year, but we shall see how it plays. Let us know if you agree with us in the comments, and obviously tag us as well. Let us know your thoughts. Guys, you must know, but if you don't know, it is the month of Women's International Day, and it is Women's History Month this month, and we would not be us if we were not also going to talk to you about WNBA, women in history, and all the things that women are doing in sports at the moment. But we're going to kick it off with WNBA news. Because it's the first episode, there's definitely some topics that we have to touch on before we get into the currents of how the season's going and how players are going and so on. And I think where we should definitely kick it off is Brittany Griner.
Absolutely.
So she signed a 1-year deal, and I think it's going to be exciting to see her back on the court. To just to have her back in itself is a blessing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I know the game has missed her. I was 1 year off of playing against her, but I'm still going to hold that to my heart. I'm still going to say, tell people, I almost played Brittany Garner, but I missed off just by a year. But yeah, it will be interesting to see how her body adapts after a year off of basketball. But I think we've seen her in the gym. I think she's been putting in work, so it will be exciting to see how she connects in with her teammates and just to see her back in the league. I know everybody's missed her.
Yeah, it really shows what basketball means to her. For her to come back so strong and so willing to play again. And I think, honestly, where am I going with this? So I think like what she does after this, it will be interesting, like where she plays overseas after, like where she chooses to play, if she chooses to play or she just wants to stay with like the WNBA. That'd be quite, like her story is quite phenomenal, like, it's kind of taken off, so
yeah. And I think we should touch on that because I think that we were without her for a year with everything that happened, and we saw what it meant for basketball. We saw the appeals that were happening on the court, similar to sort of the BLM appeals. Her name was on people's T-shirts, bring her home, and all of the things that sort of, I guess, accosted the US government to have to do something about it. Trade deals meant that she is home, she's safe. We saw all of those images as well, and I think just so powerful for her to want to get straight back into the game as soon as she could, in a place that she felt was safe. As well, so it's just so beautiful to see. And I think you touched on what basketball means to her, but I think also what she is going to mean to basketball going forward is going to be phenomenal. And not to put that role on her because she shouldn't have to, because she didn't choose that for herself. But I actually think it has just opened the eyes of actually like what can happen to women around the world, people of colour around the world in those situations, and why we need to definitely make sure that
it's kind of like what we spoke about earlier in our introductions when we was talking about basketball being home. Do you know what I'm saying? Like she literally feels at home when she's playing. She's going back home. So
it just kind of it shows you like that there's more to life than more than ball. The fact that she has to go overseas to make some anywhere near what the NBA is making, like it just shows you that the fact that she's gone back into basketball, like what kind of person she is.
I also want to touch on the mental aspect as well. It shows incredible strength for her to come back into this place, but also the mental toll that it was taking on her teammates as well. Skylar Diggins-Smith was very vocal with how she felt about that, and so I think that just is going to take a little bit of pressure off the whole league, essentially, that now she's back, and it's an amazing story that she's been able to come back home.
It's very important that we keep these conversations going because there shouldn't be a reason why a WNBA player has to play overseas as well to make a living. So we need to continue these conversations so WNBA can pay these players the right wages so they don't have to do it overseas as well. So
definitely.
And I think what Kelsey Plum was saying is that they're not trying to get paid the same amount as the NBA player, just like what they deserve. That's what they want because that's not what they're getting. So that in itself just shows like WNBA players, like they're not getting adequate treatment they deserve. So
and I think it's exactly what you said, that situations like this, like we've seen it before, like they spark action. And we're now in a position where the world has seen it. The world has seen governments have to discuss it, and actually we didn't have to be in that position if she didn't have to travel. And so now we can start having adequate conversations about what we do to make sure people are able to play at home.
But do you think like the WNBA could ever extend to just being a summer league?
To just be in a summer league?
Because, well, I mean, the WNBA is just during the summer, pretty much. So
you're saying like a regular season, like
what
we have in Europe?
So do you think it could ever extend to that?
But why couldn't it?
That's what I'm saying.
If they expand and bring in more teams, they can have a longer season. It's just because they've got like less teams compared to the NBA, which is why their season is shorter.
But so many teams fold because there's no money put into it.
Yeah, it's the point that they have to put in the money.
Yeah.
See, my thing is like, they say like money's being put into the WNBA, but for what? It's like the WBBL. They say that money's being put in the BBL, but where is it going? Where is it actually going?
No, it's a fair question, and I definitely think that the reality is that we can ask those questions so much louder now. Do you know what I mean? Like, actually, after this, it's going to be so much easier to say. So with everything that happened, we still ended up with a summer league with a couple more weeks of games. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, there is more games.
Yeah, there is more. We can critically analyse now, and it is these. It unfortunately requires these situations to happen for us to be able to do it. But hopefully, change comes as a result. Definitely. But yeah, shout out to you, Brittany. Shout out to your team. Everyone that fought for her to be back. Thank you. Really looking forward to seeing her play. Yes, so now on to some of the hot topics that are going on in the WNBA. Over to you, ladies.
So we've just seen some really big moves to the New York Liberty. We've seen Breanna Stewart move, Jonquel Jones, and also Courtney Vandersloot. For me, it's like a super team. You've got a bit of the West Coast, a bit of the East Coast mixed together. It's like, what more could you ask for?
It's like you pretty much got like the best core players on one team. Do you think they're going to take it?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think anyone can really stop Jonquel Jones and Breanna Stewart together. I think they're just like double trouble.
No, it's true. I do want to see Aces try and defend
the Aces have
the
a super
title
team over there too.
Yeah.
Well, with Breanna Stewart, I don't know. Like it's a tough one. It'd be interesting to see how the games start in May.
Do we know if there's a possibility for any more trades?
Yeah, their trade deadline hasn't passed yet, so there will be some last-minute deals between teams.
Still
so
ahead of the season starting.
Yeah.
And then we got players that signed for training camps. Shout out Kiki, teammate.
I just want to see the LV to defend their title, but I mean, it's hard with what New York are doing. But if there are any more trades happening, it would be interesting to see if there's another team that can compete with New York on that level.
And I guess, like you said, that there's another super team. But I'm just thinking, like, could we see what we saw with the NBA when we ended up with super teams
and they do nothing.
Crashing.
Yeah, super. that, or maybe.
But you know what? I think
saw what
with
happened
girls,
with the Nets.
yeah.
I think with girls it's a little different.
What makes it
Egos
different?
aren't so high.
It's a word, yeah.
Like, you know how to, because you're not really like playing off being an athlete. You're playing off being like a team player. So it'll be quite interesting to.
It's not an individual story type thing.
Yeah.
No, it's a good point. But I guess in terms of like blowing other teams out of the water. So maybe we're thinking like 4 years ago of super teams when it was just boring to watch. Finals because it was like
London Lions.
It's so true. Could we be in that saga where we're now just going to see super teams and it's just going to become like, well, we knew that was going to happen. Every game becomes.
But what I love
obvious.
about basketball, you never know how it's going to end.
go.
Do you know what I mean? Like, a team can be down by 20 and still come back, and that's what's so great. It's like you see in a movie, you can kind of guess what's going to happen in a movie, whereas basketball's always like a cliffhanger almost. You never know. It can go into OT and then,
But I think I also like the aspect of if you have a super team, they can also become like the villain story.
Yeah.
Because everyone's waiting for the team to beat them, which happened against the Lions, unfortunately, when the streak got. let me just
cut to a close.
But yeah, it can also have that kind of storyline and that kind of interest in people watching the game as well.
Yeah, it's true. And it brings more people to the game as well because actually in those sagas that we saw in the NBA, that was probably the point in time where we saw so many people get so much more invested in the sport. But your point about athletes versus teams, I think is so true. So yeah, really looking forward to the season.
But also the other teams around the league need to step their game up as well. You know, if you've got a super team, everyone needs to step their game up.
It's true. And also, as part of Women's History Month, we want to call out some of the legacies in sport that have inspired us, inspired generations, and really make this month so important. My one, I'm going to kick it off with Sue Bird. So Sue Bird, fun fact, when she was 7/8 years old, she used to lie when she played basketball and tell people that she was related to Larry Bird. Actually, she told everyone that was her uncle. And actually, it isn't that hard to believe. She is the only WNBA player to have won a title in 3 decades.
Yeah.
So she's living Vince Carter vibes, because I'm pretty sure he played for about 4. So she's a phenomenal player who retired last year and brought so much to the game. So that's me.
Well, I wanna talk about Serena Williams, who finished with 23 Grand Slams.
Yeah.
So she wanted to finish with 24 because right now she's joint, but her whole aura, she bodied it. So for someone to be spoken about quite poorly sometimes by the media, she's really like paved her way and proved herself, and she had nothing to lose. And I think as like being a young athlete or a young female, like this is a role model beyond so many levels. And actually, just to jump on that as well, like Serena Williams is probably one of my favorite athletes. And I think also for so many reasons, like, and I think about that whole campaign where it was like the best, when she was called the best female athlete and someone was like the best athlete. As in full stop, as in. There's no
like,
comparison
there's
between
no
female and male.
comparison.
She is
Like,
the,
take that word out. You don't need to use it to denigrate. She is the best athlete. Like, she has done things unspeakable. She is just she's in a world of her own, really. And it's a shame that she didn't get that 24th, but actually being a player that had that much against her, she's a black woman that was consistently ridiculed for the noises that she made on the court, how much of her body that she showed, her size, and how it didn't fit the sport, and all of those things, and playing at a time when she wasn't expected to look the way she was, and so proud of how she looked as well. Shout out to her, man. 23 under those circumstances. Like, Serena Williams, like, absolute
Wicked.
legend. Yeah.
I would probably say Sylvia Fowles, another post player that I aspire to be one day when I grow up, even though I'm definitely 28 now. Just like her defensive presence in the key, you know, her inside moves. She's such a rim protector, all around player. Like, there's never really a bad word to say about her, and she's always like giving 100%.
We're going to go with Maya Moore.
We've got joint one here. This
So-
is where we are together.
So at 33 years of age, she's officially announced her retirement this year. I know she's not been playing basketball for a few years now, and she's been focusing on prison reform and the activism side. So I want to just shout out to her because she's showing that there is something more than basketball.
More than
More than ball, yeah.
But you know what? When that came out, that was such a shock to everyone. Everyone's like, what? Since when? It just shows like people have aspirations and like things they want to do, like surrounded by ball, around ball, what ball has done for them. It's great.
She was also the first woman signed by Jumpman. Shout out to Jordan Brand. And literally, she could do it all on the court. Mid-range, pull-up, package, everything. She was so nice, and it's almost disappointing that we didn't actually get to see her full potential on the basketball court, because she was legendary. She is legendary. However, like Aiman said, it is more than ball, and to see what she's been able to do off the court as well is just as inspiring. So shout out to Maya Moore.
And she did retire in her prime, and that is something, considering what she's done so far in her career. Like, she's won, I'm going to go with the stats again, she's a 4 times Women NBA champion, a 2 times Olympic gold medalist, 2 times FIBA champion, 2 times EuroLeague champion, 2 times NCAA champion, 2011 Rookie of the Year, 2013 Women NBA Finals MVP, 6 times Women NBA All-Star, 3 times Women NBA All-Star Game MVP, and the list goes on. So, like, for her to retire in her prime and focus on something else, knowing that she could probably be the greatest women basketball player ever, is hats off to her, really. That just shows.
Definitely a what-if story.
And again, like, I feel like there's so many of those, because the reality is that, like, all of those success stories build greater platforms. So what I want to see is what next as well. Like, outside of that, what if? Because those platforms are built on the fact that so many people have now been drawn to you. Serena Williams has a whole brand around that. Do you know what I mean? And actually, what is it going to be?
She's
for
more than
this
an
as well?
athlete, businesswoman.
Yeah, and that's it.
Mother,
Mother, yeah.
No, exactly. Both of them now, I think her and LeBron both are like VC venture capitalists, like funders and like black-owned businesses. So it's like, it really is more than ball. It's how do you give back to that community? How do you bring those people up? And it's exciting to see what that could do for prison reform as well. So yeah, definitely.
It's a legendary lineup.
Yeah, that's it. Got to give it out to these players, man. They're really changing the world. What are these governments doing? Another woman we have to talk about this month is Edna Campbell. Her story is amazing, and she's a pioneer, and I think she has brought so much to the sport. So, Shaq, over to you.
Yeah, she is a 5'8" guard that played in the Sacramento Monarchs, as well as 3 other teams. But she's well known for continuing to play despite suffering breast cancer. She, in 2004, she was designated a Women's History Month honoree.
So I think when we're talking about Edna Campbell, like, we're speaking about someone who was like vulnerable enough to speak about her story nationwide. And then on top of that, that's like bringing in a whole different fan base, because like if you want to go into like intersectionality, like this is a black woman who is fighting this, and even though it seems like such a like small section, it's a big section part of so many people's lives. And even though if it doesn't like affect you personally, it could be affecting someone who you know or what have you. So then it's like, that's a whole different audience that you're bringing in just because of your personality. And I think, that's big. That makes me feel confident, like, to speak about things maybe that I struggle with, or do you know what I mean? Like, knowing like this is like a family, like this is like the basketball community, and we're human, you know what I'm saying? Like we go through like real life situations. So to have that support, like that she can piggyback off of, like, amazing human, amazing player, amazing person.
Definitely. And I think like sometimes when we talk about this month, like it is so important to remember the people that have like won those awards before, because her story also brought so many people to basketball. People that probably didn't watch it before, that would have been so surprised about the fact that someone that could be going through treatment could still be playing and still be vocal about it. And equally, like we said, as someone that is about to go through it myself, I'm equally sitting here thinking to myself, I've been asking doctors, can I play? And like you have hope that is possible. So yeah, definitely stories like that really make the game, they make the community, and make you realise that it's more than ball.
Yeah,
man.
And we're here for you as well.
Yeah, man.
Always,
Family.
always.
Thank you, thank you.
So for this segment, we're going to rank some fits. We've got Hall of Fame, gold, silver, and bronze. Yes. So kicking things off, we're going to start with the WNBA, since it's Women's International Month, and going forward, we're going to rank the men's fits as well. Starting with Courtney Williams.
Courtney Williams.
What do you think, guys?
You know what? I like the fit, but I don't think for her it's one of her best fits.
So you think she's swaggier than that? It's just this one.
This one is not like.
Yeah, it's the shoes. I'm
So
not a fan of the shoes.
I'm
based
saying
off
carpet.
the outfit or what we've
Not
seen?
carpet.
We just have to go from what we see today.
What we see, okay.
Okay,
That's
so
what
what I see today is,
Why did you say carpet?
I see my grandma's carpet right
I
now.
see.
You know,
that's
no,
No,
I
it's
know.
the, oh my, it's the, and then the chair.
I see the grandma chair.
Yeah, the
That's
grandma is
what
the
I
chair.
see.
Yeah, okay.
I like the
yeah.
chair.
I like the
You
trousers.
like the chair?
No, but maybe if the chair wasn't with the carpet, it won't be as bad.
Oh.
Yeah. No, not curtain.
For me,
To me, it's the shoes.
You had fancy curtain like
Yes,
this in your
I
house?
did.
okay. So we're going to put this fit, let's say silver.
Yeah.
Silver.
Silver.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe we do them and then we see if we push
Okay,
them
we
down.
can
Okay,
see.
yeah.
It might get upgraded. You might go to, let's
Might
see.
downgrade. Next up, we've got De'Erica Hamby.
I'm loving this. I think it's a really
Just me.
cute
It's
fit.
like denim on denim. I like
Cute
it.
thing. Only she could pull off denim on denim though.
And
I like the bag,
The shoes.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Shoes.
Let's have a look. Let's have a look.
the abs.
Ooh, this outfit is killing.
I'm not sure, you know.
Yes.
I'm not sure, you know.
That LV bag is screaming for me.
So I wouldn't personally wear it, but I think she looks good.
I think she
It
looks
suits
good,
her.
but the outfit is basic, I would
Basic.
say. I think, yeah.
But,
I think
but
she looks
she's
good.
dressed it up in a way. I don't think people can pull it off and for it to still stand out the way it does.
No, fair.
Yeah, it's showing I'm an athlete, but can be cute at the same time.
Okay,
I'm
class.
putting it in the gold.
Girls,
Yeah.
I agree.
It's
Gold.
It's better than
Girls.
grandma's curtains. definitely.
Listen, we are here for the curtains. Next up, we have Dee Dee.
Dee Dee, Hall of Fame.
Hall of
Okay.
Fame.
Yes.
Tell me why.
Are
Tell
we
me
all
why.
on
What
the
is
same
it?
page?
Because she's just, look at her. You saying it's not Hall of Fame?
I think if it wasn't for the hat, you know,
That's what I'm
Legacies.
saying.
I think the hat really takes away from it.
Maybe she was having a bad hair day, you know?
Yeah, but you got to rate the drip top to bottom.
All right.
I think the hat takes away.
But the hat goes with the little bit of the
I like,
coat.
okay, so I like the coat and the way she's wearing it just a
Yeah.
bit below. With the boots, like, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think all the pieces go together, so for that reason,
What's
I'm
not
gonna
going?
put it
Where
the
you put-
hat.
The hat's
The
not
hat.
going.
The
So
hat, yeah.
I think it's gonna.
And the chain
it's
as
still
well,
a
to be
cute
honest,
fit,
and
so
also-
let's go for gold.
Well, I think that's just as bad as grandma's trousers.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
I'm with you
This
on
is
that
this
one.
is a
Yeah,
harsh panel right here.
I don't know, because I don't see
Yeah.
what they're
We
seeing.
know where the
other
Simon
than
Cowell
what
This
is.
hat looks like she
Balenciaga
bought it from
bag,
the
I
side
said.
store. You know them shops that you
Yeah,
like
the
go and
market
get.
or
Yeah,
Dalston
like
market.
I love NY. Is it?
I mean, nothing wrong with Dalston Market.
Yeah, it's giving. I love NY.
I mean, there's nothing
Come
wrong
on,
with
come
it.
on.
Okay,
we gotta
cool.
put it in.
So wait, we
I think
silver
we're
for
going
now.
silver.
Silver,
Yeah.
Okay,
we're
we're
going
going silver.
Ooh.
Sorry, Paige, from Hall of Fame to you know
Very
what?
rude, but okay. I'm a team player.
Isabel Harrison.
Okay.
Hall of Fame.
I'm
With this
feeling
fit,
this
I'm
whole
feeling
fit.
it.
Yeah.
I'm putting this in the Hall of Fame.
The bucket hat. Ooh, yeah.
Yeah,
Look
yeah.
at us.
I
We have
know
no
this is
discussion.
There's no
The
debate.
trench,
Yeah, yeah.
the pants, the
The shoes.
The
shoes,
shoes.
I don't think
the
it's Hall of Fame.
glasses.
You don't
What would
think
you
so?
think?
I think it's gold.
Do you think it's
What
gold?
makes it
Why?
gold?
I think the hat is too warm.
Too warm?
Oh, it
Yeah,
could
it's
have been.
it's too thick. Like I think it's too warm with the
No,
fit.
it's swaggy.
No, it's fair. It's fair
No,
to be
it's
honest,
too
because
sweaty.
it's given like it's given thick when everything else is given thin.
Look at the mountains. Look, yeah, you know it's cold out there.
Then why she got belly top? No, I don't know.
The abs, you not see the fit. Okay, next up, Kalia Cooper.
I like the trousers, but I don't like the fit. I
Not
think
like the fit.
I'm not. A
Can I
fan
see
of the
her
fit.
hair? Sorry.
Oh yeah, the hair. The hair is important too.
I like her hair
I
actually.
like the hair.
It feels like she threw
Edges.
clothes on.
I mean, now we're in the era of
Oh, no,
tracksuit.
It's the
We're in the era
flares.
of the tracksuit with the button-up shirt.
Yeah,
I don't really know.
with the
I'm
check
here for the
shirt.
yellow
with the
though.
checkered shirt.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
here
so
with the
good.
trousers.
I'm not sure about the green.
Yeah, the green
shoes.
shoes.
The green
For
shoes,
that
the green
reason,
and
I'll
and then
put silver.
I'll say no, but grandma's trousers. I think I think it's worse than grandma's trousers. This one she went out just chuck clothes together. No offense, raw due
I
respect.
think Courtney should be bronze.
Yeah, I think they go together.
Yeah.
Well, these two they're as good and bad as
So
each
now
other.
Yeah,
we've
yeah,
got-
yeah.
So now
Yeah.
we're moving. Oh,
We're
okay.
putting
Yeah,
with
there we
grandma's
go.
trousers.
Grandma's trousers at the bottom.
But no, I think this is swaggier than this. I feel like this was a mistake. She got there late. Whereas I think that this was intentional. Like rate the plan. Like okay, yeah, I'm gonna put this together and I see it. This one, could you ever see it? Would you stand in the mirror and say yes? Let's go.
Yes.
But you know what? I like the pants, just not with what she's wearing.
Yeah, yeah.
So what
Like,
would you
I
go
even
with
like-
for the top half?
That's
I
what I'm
would've
saying.
worn,
I
like
think it's
maybe a
mismatched.
crop top. Like I'm
Yeah,
not
I
too
see
sure.
that. I see that. And maybe a green crop top if you got green trainers on.
There we go.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on. Let's
Yeah.
move on.
Let's go bronze.
Next up, we have Kelsey Plum.
This is a
This
cute
is-
fit.
Yeah.
I think this is very good. I think this is very nice. I like the colors. I like the shades.
Ooh,
I like
This
the
is a cute
material.
fit, yeah.
Hall of Fame. What
Very
you thinking?
simple.
Simple
I'm
but
saying
cute.
Gold.
I would say
Yeah.
gold.
Gold.
Yeah, it's
I'm
not
happy with
screaming
gold.
Hall of Fame, but I
Yeah,
would say
yeah.
gold.
Yeah, I'll give gold.
Put together really well.
She's consistent with her fits, to be
Yeah.
fair.
Next up, we have Christine Anigwe. I think this is really nice.
You like
What's it
it,
giving?
sir?
Yeah.
You like
it's
a
even-
leather though, I see.
I do like a
Yeah.
leather.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit biased.
Little
It's
bit.
It's giving Matrix.
She's killed it with that
Yeah,
look.
yeah.
Yeah,
I
I
think
think
I
that's
think
Hall
the
of
bag
Fame.
as well.
Yeah.
Like it
Hall
makes
of Fame?
sense.
Let's
Yeah.
I would say Hall of
I think the
Fame.
pop
Okay.
of colour with like
Yeah,
an
yeah.
all black outfit. is
You know,
just
so
perfect.
she could have had this with this little fit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, a
Yeah,
little
because even this
shoes
bag
here.
here. Anyway, let's leave her.
Oh my god.
Well, that's about to get us cancelled. We have Natisha.
Not really feeling that one.
You know what?
I'm not
Is it
feeling
a
the
hat?
shoes.
It's the. Is lumberjack a thing? Like a.
That's
Like
what
a
we
look
were
like
asking
a-
this anyway.
like-
Can I see
Colour-
it closer?
Yeah.
Nothing
We're
wrong
not a
country,
fan of
but
the
like,
flannel,
yeah,
Yeah.
I don't think we're a fan of the checkered shirts.
Yeah, maybe it's a
What
US
shoes are
thing.
these?
The colour scheme is working.
Jordans.
Yeah.
But I feel like that
The
they could have
shoes
been like.
the red, the shoes have the red, but I wouldn't go
Yeah, I
with
would.
them shoes.
Yeah,
Seven,
I
now,
think
what
maybe
Jordans
cream.
are these?
I think.
They look like 9s.
Nines, there we go.
I
Paige is
feel like
not
I would have gone for
impressed.
some cream trainers. Do you
The
know what I
red
mean?
is
Off-white.
like
Yeah,
too
the
much.
red is
a
too.
bit
It's
much.
too.
I guess the
sticky
glasses.
out.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
red goes with the glasses and the
But I
blue.
guess we don't agree with the check shirt. I don't agree with the hat either. I think
If she got rid of the check shirt, it would have
Yeah,
been nice.
yeah,
It
yeah.
would have
So
been a
mad,
nice
yeah, yeah.
oversized t-shirt with that fit.
yeah.
This one is just
Where
a
we
bit too
going?
much.
It has
happening.
potential, but
I think this is
Okay,
equal.
bronze
Yeah,
then.
yeah. Bronze.
okay, the potential wasn't there, clearly.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
No, I mean we can say silver. I'm happy to say silver.
No, I wouldn't say silver over this.
Oh right, equal.
I would say equal.
Okay.
Okay. Skylar Diggins-Smith. I'm already saying Hall of Fame.
Same.
Yeah.
She killed it.
Skylar.
Yeah.
What is that, a bag?
It is.
that?
Arm
Yeah. It's like a little, well, not a
Duffel.
little. It's a big
Yeah.
duffel.
Large
Yeah.
bag.
Yeah.
Love the coat. Love the pants.
Yeah.
I love the
shades,
shades. Yeah,
Color
yeah, yeah.
scheme.
Everything.
And I like the bag
Even the
'cause it's
phone in the
different.
hand is giving plans.
Yeah.
Like yeah.
She's got
The whole
confidence
look.
about her.
Yeah.
All right, so
Hall of
Hall of
Fame.
Hall of Fame.
Skylar
Okay.
Diggins-Smith.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
There
over
we
top
go.
Hall of Famers, if we had to pick the top Hall of Famer out of the three, who would
Skylar
go?
Diggins.
Skylar.
Yeah, definitely Skylar.
I'm going Isabel Harrison.
You and her mates, Lizzie.
Photographer.
She was taking our pictures.
Yeah, I'm going Isabel Harrison.
Who you go for?
Skylar.
Okay. Skylar wins it, guys. Hall of Fame this week is Skylar.
We've done the talking. Let's get right into the games.
Yes.
Twining with each other. I'm loving the defense down low. Okay,
Easy
not quite.
pass.
Sorry, man.
Come on, shoot then.
Wicked.
Wow.
I tried.
Oh, nice brush green. Easy, easy too. All right, so it's still 2 points.
Hello.
You have to get that perfect. Perfectly clear.
Nice.
Yes.
Come on, we need a dunk. We need a dunk.
No, dish out. There you go.
Can you imagine if they actually had this in real life? Like 2-on-2 in the park. Come on, defense.
Wicked.
Help.
How do you not get a beat?
Right, we need some defense though. There's 2 points, 2 points on the other side.
Hello, LeBron. Like, what is your issue? Take it back.
Yes.
There we go. That's what we needed.
Wicked.
All right, close
We're back
game.
in the game.
Let's go. Oh no, this is. Oh no, this is actually.
Sorry.
You're rude. That's so rude. That was unnecessary. No, it's okay. It's fine. To be honest, the difference you can say that, yeah, but like we could do the same thing. Driving is the easiest way to score in this game. So, just so you know, innit? About no defense on this team.
No, first one was bit now. Still 2 points.
Yeah, no defense on this team. Go on, Nashi.
Cash.
Yeah.
Two, you there?
Buttons and just press every single button you can think of.
Yeah!
Boy!
Not in my house!
Oh, good save.
Not in my house.
What is it? Be honest.
He's
Just
annoying.
check the ball. Get
In my house.
Look, see, look at you.
Oh, never mind.
You see what happens when you get too excited and you don't finish the play?
I'm here.
Ooh, sorry. Bad shot. Oh, I'm so sorry. Hands.
Yes.
That was an excellent cut.
Yeah, basically. Hold on.
Come on, defense.
We need a break.
Yeah, woo!
Cash.
Yes, sir.
Oh, this is getting too close.
Right, okay, let's go. Defense is mandatory.
Come on, D.
Yeah. Oh, no. Oh, it's 20. It's 20. It's okay. We need a free. Yeah.
No, why?
No, why?
Alright,
Nah.
it's okay. Stay in it.
Two of them.
I forgot who I was. I thought I was in purple.
Good job.
I didn't know I was second ball.
Good try. Thank you guys for tuning in.
Make sure you check out our socials.
And a big shout out to all of us for being on the first female NBA podcast in Europe.
Yes.
Stay tuned, we've got so much more coming.
Yes, and thank you so much to 2K and Naysaga for this opportunity. It's been real. We'll see you on the next one.
Yes, ladies.
Boy!
Team.